Hey guys, it's Paul here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about the things we should be expecting in the Note 20 series and the things we should be expecting in the iPhone 12 series and how these two phones compare to each other. And I hope this video is going to be helpful to any of you guys that are trying to decide whether to go for the Note 20 series or the iPhone 12 series. Before I start, if you're new here and you're a tech fan just like me and you want to be updated on the latest phone unboxing, reviews, and comparison videos just like this, you might want to consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified every single time I drop a new video. So for the most part of this video, I'm going to be referring to the Note 20 Ultra and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I'm only going to be talking about the other variants of each phones when I want to talk about them specifically. Let's start with the design, starting with the Note 20 Ultra. The design of the Note 20 Ultra is expected to be similar to that of the Note 10 Plus, just some slight differences. The display on the Note 20 Ultra is expected to be flatter than that of the Note 10 Plus. Samsung is kind of moving away from curved edges to flatter display recently, probably because most people are complaining about accidental touches on the edges of the phone, even though palm rejection is getting better and better every year, but Samsung is still moving towards flatter display. The curved edges on Samsung phone has always been the reason why I've always wanted a Samsung phone before I joined the iPhone gang. Why did I call it the iPhone gang? Yeah, but now I have to look for a new reason to want a Samsung phone. Anyways, the front camera on the Note 20 Ultra is expected to be smaller, and the bezels are pretty much going to remain the same as the Note 10 Plus. As for the rear camera, the layouts are pretty much going to remain the same with the Note 10 Plus, just that the lenses are getting bigger, and on each lenses there's going to be a ring, and the color of the ring is going to be similar to the color of the phone, which is going to make the phone look so badass. But don't let us come to any conclusion here. Let's talk about the design of the iPhone 12 lineup. So as for the design of the iPhone 12 lineup, we're expecting a boxy design, similar to the one on the iPhone 5 or the iPhone 4. This is a new design and a new cycle for the iPhone family. As for the camera setup on the iPhone 12, it should be similar to the one on the iPhone 11 series. The only thing that hasn't been 100% confirmed is if Apple is going to add a lighter sensor, similar to the one on the iPad Pro. But we know that the lenses on the iPhone 12 series is getting a little bit bigger than the one on the iPhone 11 series. The Apple logo is pretty much going to be at the center of the phone, just like the iPhone 11 series. And as for the notch, it hasn't been 100% confirmed, but the notch on the iPhone 12 series is pretty much going to be the same as the one on the iPhone 11 series. It's not getting smaller, it's not getting bigger, but it hasn't been 100% confirmed. But the thing is that on the 6.7-inch iPhone 12 Pro Max, the notch is going to appear smaller because the screen is obviously getting bigger. The iPhone 12 Pro Max is going to be the biggest iPhone that Apple has ever made, so the notch is going to appear smaller because of that. So which of the design do you prefer? In my opinion, I'm going to go for the Note 20 series. I just love the design on the Note 20 series. I love the way the color of the rings around each lenses matches the color of the phone. It makes the phone look so cool. Now let's talk about display and size. There are going to be two variants of the Note 20 series. There's going to be a Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The size of the Note 20 hasn't been confirmed, but we know the size of the Note 20 Ultra is going to be a 6.9-inch phone with an aspect ratio of 20:9, a screen resolution of 3200 by 1400, and it's going to have 120Hz refresh rate. Yes, 120Hz refresh rate. As for the iPhone 12 series, there are going to be three sizes and probably four variants of the iPhone 12. There's going to be a 5.4-inch iPhone, a 6.1-inch iPhone, and a 6.7-inch iPhone, which is going to be the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It hasn't been confirmed if Apple is going to add a 120Hz refresh rate yet, but it's going to be unfortunate if Apple doesn't add the 120Hz refresh rate. In fact, it's going to be very sad because I don't know the excuse they're going to give this year if they don't add a 120Hz refresh rate. But I hope they add a 120Hz refresh rate on any of the iPhone 12 series, probably the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So when it comes to the display, I'm going to give that to the Note 20 Ultra. Samsung has always been the best when it comes to display, and in fact it's even Samsung that provides some of the display for Apple. So when it comes to display, I'm going to give that to the Note 20 Ultra. So now let's talk about the processor, the RAM, and the storage. On the Note 20 series, we're expecting a base storage of 256GB of internal storage with a 12GB of RAM, and there's also going to be a 512GB of internal storage with 16GB of RAM. It hasn't been confirmed if this is going to apply for both the Note 20 and the Note 20 Ultra, but I'm certainly sure it's going to apply to the Note 20 Ultra. When it comes to processors, Samsung uses two processors, Exynos and Snapdragon. Samsung actually manufactured the Exynos themselves, and the Snapdragon is another company on its own. The variant of the processor you're going to get is going to depend on what country you live. Like if you're living in the United States, you're going to get the Snapdragon, and if you're living in any of the European countries, you're going to get the Exynos version of the Exynos version of the chip. And obviously the Snapdragon is significantly powerful than the Exynos version, and recently people have been complaining that if the Exynos is less powerful than the Snapdragon, why is Samsung selling it for the same price? So Samsung has responded to that. They have a plan for the Note 20 series. They plan to introduce their 6nm Exynos chip, which I don't think is going to solve the problem completely, but it's still going to solve the problem to some extent. So Samsung is introducing their 6nm Exynos chip, which is going to be a little bit closer to the Snapdragon. I mean, I don't have any complaints because I'm living in the United States, so I'm going to get the Snapdragon version of the Note 20 series. So as for the iPhone 12 series, all the iPhone 12 series are expected to be powered by the A14 Bionic chip. This is going to be a 5nm chip, and it's going to be the first 5nm chip in the market. I mean, I'm not expecting less from the A14 Bionic chip because the A13 Bionic chip is still crushing the market right now. I mean, when it comes to processing power, Apple is number one. So I'm expecting the A14 Bionic chip to be a very powerful chip. And as for the RAM, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is expected to have a 6GB of RAM. I mean, this is the first time that Apple is adding that much RAM into an iPhone, because usually iPhones don't really need big numbers when it comes to RAM, because the optimization in iOS is crazy. As for the other iPhone 12 series, the RAM is still going to remain 4GB of RAM, just like the iPhone 11 series. And when it comes to base storage, I'm not going to be surprised if Apple still sells their 64GB variant of iPhones, but hopefully the iPhone 12 series are going to have a base storage of 128GB. So in summary, when it comes to processing power, I'm still going to give that to the iPhone 12 series. I mean, I'm sorry, there's no chip in the market right now that can even beat the A12 Bionic chip, not to even talk about the A14 Bionic chip. When it comes to processing power, Apple rules the market. Now let's talk about the camera, starting with the iPhone 12 series. When it comes to the camera, unfortunately, Apple is not really changing much when it comes to the camera this year. But we know that the lenses are getting a little bit bigger and it's going to have a lower f-stop, which means that the iPhone 12 series are going to perform a little bit better when it comes to night photos. I mean, this is not going to be a significant upgrade, just like from the iPhone XS to the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but it's still going to be an upgrade. And we've also been hearing rumors that the iPhone 12 Pro Max or the iPhone 12 series are going to be able to shoot 4K at 240 frames per second. I mean, this is crazy. According to MKBHD, even Red cameras actually shoot 4K at 240 frames per second. I mean, this is crazy. It's even going to crush my dream camera, the Canon R5, that, oh my god, I really want to get that camera. But if it turns out that the iPhone 12 Pro Max is capable of shooting 4K at 240 frames per second, camera companies like Canon, Nikon, Sony should be worried, because this is going to be crazy. I mean, it's going to crush the market completely. And I hope the rumor is true. As for the camera on the Note 20 Ultra, the main lens is expected to be the same thing as the S20 Ultra, which is a 108 megapixel f1.8 aperture. There's also going to be a new laser modular, which is going to help the Note 20 Ultra focus better than the S20 Ultra and the Note 10 Plus, because the S20 Ultra and the Note 10 Plus has a focusing issue. And there's also going to be a 30 megapixel with a 5x optical zoom and up to 50x digital zoom, unlike the S20 Ultra that has a 4x optical zoom and a 100x digital zoom. And finally, there's going to be an f2.2 ultra wide lens. The camera on the Note 20 Ultra will also be able to shoot 8K at 30 frames per second, which is actually amazing. And as for the front camera on the Note 20 Ultra, it's going to be a 40 megapixel f2.2 aperture, and the front camera will be able to shoot 4K at 60 frames per second, which is actually good. So which one do you think is the best when it comes to camera? In my opinion, when it comes to video recording, there is no phone in the market that beats the iPhone. But when it comes to picture, I don't think the difference between the Note 20 Ultra and the iPhone 12 Pro Max should be that much. So when it comes to price, nothing has been confirmed on both sides. On the iPhone 12 series, we used to hear that the price is going to remain the same as the iPhone 11 series, which was actually good news. Plus the fact that we've also been hearing that Apple is going to take away the headphones and the power adapter, it actually made sense. But recently we've been hearing that Apple is going to increase the price by $50, which is probably going to put the 5.4-inch iPhone 4 at $749, the 6.1 at $999, and the 6.7 iPhone 12 Pro Max at $1099. As for the Note 20 series, like I said, nothing has been confirmed right now. The only price we have right now is the European price, so I can't really say that this is the particular price of the Note 20 Ultra, but I can guess the price of the Note 20 Ultra. So like I said, there are going to be two variants of the Note 20 Ultra. The lower end Note 20 is probably going to be $999, and the higher end is probably going to be $1399 or $1499, because if you look at the S20 Ultra, the starting price was $1499. Way more expensive than the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is actually crazy. So when it comes to price, my best bet is actually on the iPhones. The iPhones are going to be significantly cheaper than the Note 20 series, like way cheaper than the Note 20 series. Let's say someone comes to me and say, okay, Paul, I can afford both phones. Which one do you think I should get? I'm still gonna go for the iPhone 12, and this is why. I don't care what you guys have to say. You can call me an Apple sheep or whatever, but I love the Apple ecosystem. Everything is just smooth on the Apple ecosystem. Like transition from your Apple phone to your Apple Watch to your Apple laptop is so smooth. There's no other ecosystem in the market that is better than the Apple ecosystem. The second reason why I'm going to recommend any of the iPhone 12 series is the frequent software updates. When you get a new iPhone, the iPhone is guaranteed to get future software updates for the next at least 5, 6, 7 years. Even the original iPhone SE, which came out in 2013 or 2012, no, is it 2016? I know the original iPhone SE is more than 5 years old and it's still capable of running on iOS 14, which is actually crazy. So I'm also going to recommend the iPhone 12 just because of software updates. And one other reason why I'm going to recommend the iPhone 12 instead of the Note 20 Ultra is the value of the phone. iPhones do hold on to their value, unlike Samsung phones. If you get a new Samsung phone, let's say the Note 20 Ultra that's coming out August 5, if you pre-order the Note 20 Ultra, let's say after a month or two, you're gonna see the Note 20 Ultra for $100 off or $200 off on Amazon. I mean, that's good news for people who just want to get the Note 20 Ultra. But people who originally bought the phone when it was launched, they're gonna feel cheated. Like if I bought the phone for $1299 and after a month I see the phone for $1,000 or something, I'm gonna feel cheated because I could have waited like a month or two before I get the phone. So that's just my opinion. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but as for iPhones do hold on to their value for a very, very long time. That's just my opinion, and that's one reason why I'm going to recommend the iPhone 12 over the Note 20 series. And that's it, guys. I hope this video was helpful and you found it somewhat informative. I'm going to be unboxing both phones on this channel by God's grace, so you might want to consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, turn on notification bell so you're notified every single time I drop a new video. And I'm going to be seeing you guys in my next video. Peace. Money.